Hello guys, welcome to the day 21 of our coding challenge series, and today we are solving this problem, which is distribute elements into two arrays. So in this we are basically given a one index array of distinct integers nums of length n, and we need to distribute all the element of nums array into two separate arrays, which are array 1 and array 2, using n operations, right? And in the first operation we add whatever is at the 0th index of nums into the 0th index of array 1, and in the second operation we add whatever is at the first index of nums array into the 0th index of array 2. And afterwards, in the ith operation, after we extract the 0th index and the first index from the second index of nums, we do this operation after the ith operation. So if the last element of array 1 that we added is greater than the last element of array 2 that we have added, so we add or append whatever is at the nums at I position to array 1, and if not, otherwise we add or append nums at position I to array 2. And the array result is which we will return is formed by concatenating the two arrays, array 1 and array 2. For example, if array 1 is 1 2 3 and array 2 is 4 5 6, so the result will be 1 2 3 4 5 6. So basically we concatenate and return the result array. So you can read the examples yourself, and now let's understand what's going on. In the question it says that in the first operation we need to append whatever is at the nums 0th index to array 1, and in the second operation append or add whatever is at the nums first index to array 2, and then after adding it to the 0th index, after basically extracting the 0th index and the first index of nums and putting it to array 1 and array 2 respectively, after the I equals to 2 position, after the second index, we would basically use this for loop, right? So first of all it says that we need to add the 0th index to array 1, so we add it, then the first index to array 2, right? So this is I1, sorry, this is I0, I1, I2, I3, I4, I5, right? These are the values of I, right? And after adding 0 and I1, so from I2 till I5 we will use a for loop, because we will use the if condition, as you can see here, to basically check if the last element of array 1 is greater than the last element of array 2, and if that's the case, so we append whatever is at the nums I position to array 1, and if it's not greater, if array 1 is not greater to the last element of array 2, so we append nums at position I to array 2 instead. So that's what we are doing in this particular for loop, as you can see. So we start from I2, which is the value 6 over here, you can see. So we are left with 6 7 4 and 5, right? So this is I2, I3, I4, I5, right? So at I2 we see that if array 1 dot last element, which is 8, is greater than array 2 dot last element, which is 9, so yes, 8 is not greater than 9, so we will move to this else condition. So we store whatever is at the nums second index to array 2, right? So we would store 6 to array 2, so it would become 9 comma 6, right? And now this becomes the last element of array 2, and this 8 stays the last element of array 1, right? Now I moves to 3, right? And when I is 3, so we check the last element of array 1 is 8, the last element of array 2 is 6, so 8 is indeed greater than 6, so we store 7 to array 1, right? Now this becomes the last element, 7 becomes the last element of array 1, and 6 stays the last element of array 2. Now we move to I4, and it has a value 4. So at I4 we check if the last element of array 1 is greater than the last element of array 2, so 7 is greater than 6, so we again store 4 to array 1 again. Then we move to I5 and then check if array last element of array 1 is greater than last element of array 2, so 4 is not greater than 2, it's indeed less, so we will move to this else and then store 5 to array 2. So this will become your array 2 and this will become our array 1, right? And then at last, basically what we are doing is we need to basically return array1 plus array2, right? So it would be returned as like 8 comma 7 comma 4 comma 9 comma 6 comma 5. So this will be the array after concatenation of two arrays, which is array1 and array2, and this is what we will return. Okay, so let's solve this. First of all, I'll create an array list because it will be much easier to store and do the operations on values. New array list, and I'll call this array1, and then create a new array list, the same but with the name array2 list. This is array1 list and this is array2 list. And then we already know that we will add the 0th index and the first index. The 0th index would go to array1, so we would do this by using like this, and the 0th index of nums array would go to array1 list, and the first index would go to array2 list, right? And then we will, as we discussed, that we will have a for loop for integer I equals to 2, I lesser than nums dot length I plus plus, and if array1 dot get the last element, so the last element would be array1 dot size minus 1, right? So it would get the last element, right? So if this is greater than array2 last element of array2, so we are doing array2 dot get the last element of array2. So if that's the case, so then we would simply do array1 dot add whatever is at the nums I position, right? Otherwise we would add to array2, right? So this would be array2 list then. And after we have added the values to array1 list and array2 list, then we will basically merge the array1 list with array2 list using this command, which is array1 dot add all array2. So this will basically concatenate the both lists and add it to the array1 list, right? So after the array1 list, array2 list will also be added to the array1 list. So if array1 list is like 213 and array2 is also 213, let's suppose, so it would be like 213 and then 213. So array1 would become of the size of array1 plus array2, right? And then we will basically, since we are returning a integer array, so I'll create a result integer array equals to new int, and this will be the size of array1, right? array1 list dot size, because array1 and array2 is updated. So array1 is basically updated because it contains the values of array2 as well now, so that's why I use this. And then I will have another for loop to basically get the values from array1 list and store it to the result array. Result dot length I plus plus and then store into result I position whatever is at the array1 list dot get I, right? So in this way we will store all the values to the result array and then simply at last return the result array. and let's run this. Okay, now let's submit this. Perfect, so we got a runtime of 2 milliseconds. I hope you understood the solution, and if you have any questions you can ask them in the comment section, and then see you guys in the next video.